Anyway, we got to talk about SmackDown a little bit.
We do?
And then we're obliged just to keep the people up to date because there were a few things that went on. And I hate, I don't want to be guilty of lack of continuity with the listeners, so that then next week when we complain about something, they say, "Well, when did that happen? They should have complained about that last week." So it's all about timely complaining.
Well, there were a few interesting things. Well, I don't want to say anything now. Until we get there, I'll wait. I'm just babbling with words put together in a weird order. Let's go back to the Down of Smack.
Yes. So they were in May 31st, they were in Albany, New York. And now, you are closer than I am to Albany, New York, that Hall of Fame there. I don't want to say these people were very nice to me before you go off on some kind of tangent. I don't know whether you're for them or against them. But the young man was very nice to me when they inducted Christine Jarrett up there. He was nice to me in my email communications with him and et cetera. But apparently they're in the arena there, and the fans could come early, but they're an ongoing concern there in the arena, the Hall of Fame that they've got. So is this?
I think both things are true. They are in the arena, and they are an ongoing concern.
Yes, and well, you ought to go up there sometime. You're not that well. Everything is close in New York, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure I got a better Wrestling Hall of Fame here at Last Manor than they do up there.
Well, I know, but you ought to see what you could go up there and slip into your fucking pocket.
Unfortunately,
five-finger discount.
Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but that's one of the rumors about that Hall of Fame is basically if you have something good, they'll just trade you for it based on things they have. But I don't know how true that is. But I've heard it from a few people. There's a lot of people. There are people who like the Hall of Fame, and there's people who are vociferously against it. I'll say that.
Well, but it's there in the same building as they were. Do we know how they did? They had a nice crowd. It looked like from what they shot in the bleachers, but I recall that building from the old days. I believe it's the same one. They've just changed the name, and it's a pretty big fucking place. I always wondered why that they could draw huge crowds like that in Albany.
The crowd was 77-47. The previous time there was December for Raw, 69-86.
Well, they were up even, but it's a big old place, so they didn't fill it up. But anyway, the first segment of SmackDown, May 31st, the very first thing is Nick Aldis is in the ring and introduces Refrigerator Jax, and they're gonna go all the way with her. She's got heat with the people, but she's got more heat with me. And as I mentioned the other day, from squashing those fucking girls for no goddamn good reason, otherwise she either doesn't care or can't work her shit. And if she's going to do an interview, as they say verbally, she's as phony as a get well card from an Undertaker, so I don't want to hear it. And so basically, here's what happened on Speed Search. She called Bayley out, but before Bayley got in the ring with her, Piper and Chelsea attacked fucking Bayley and beat her up and laid her out in the ring. And then, the refrigerator told Piper and Chelsea off while Bayley just had to lay there and stare at everybody forever. Was that a summation of what occurred there in your eyes?
They've got the best women's wrestlers in the world, but they also have a bunch of people filling out a division that I don't know if anyone's truly interested in.
Well, but I mean, Jesus, it was poor Bayley had to just lay there while they beat her up. But I mean, we see people get set on fire and run over with fucking trucks, right? So they beat her up, but she had to lay there holding her head like, oh my God, I'm so stunned by what happened and I'm so hurt that I can't even just roll out and crawl away before they hurt me again. I have to lay here and look at them do things. Like, I don't, what the fuck? But they're building Piper Niven versus the refrigerator. Although I will say that Piper Niven looks like Karen Carpenter next to Refrigerator Jax. But they're apparently built. So we do get Haystacks Calhoun versus Man Mountain Mike.
Happy Humphrey.
I don't know.
Those are the pictures you would see in the magazine. That's why.
Well, how about, we got Billy versus Benny. But no, but I mean, the refrigerator, my God, she's standing there again. Piper did look big until we saw this. She's got her own gravitational pull. At the beach, kids play in her shade. In riots, cops tell her to break it up.
Well, the pleather outfit may not do any favors either.
She got hit by a car last week. The driver said he didn't have enough gas to go around her. All right, anyway, so we'll move on from here. I'd get something out of there. Did you watch Ciampa versus Theory? Tommaso Ciampa versus our former boy Austin Theory, who we can't stomach anymore because he's always standing next to Grayson Waller.
You say we. I don't mind him and Waller. However,
you don't mind wallering?
I don't mind. However, I didn't watch this, and the reason was, as soon as I heard the DIY music, I decided I'll take a break and go do something else for a little bit. It was more about Gargano than Ciampa. I thought it was going to be a tag match, but I just wasn't interested.
I wish you had of, because, and if anybody wants to go back and look at it, I'm not saying with these two particular individuals. Well, right now, let me preface this by saying the way that they've booked Tommaso, where he's with the fucking guy with the no face, and he's in the middle, if he's there, whatever. He's not going to be instantly catapulted or ever catapulted into the main events or main event picture. And I'm not trying to say the Theory, I think, still has potential if he could just get away from all this and impress somebody that he's doing a little something different. He's got all the basics and all the fucking talent in the world in the ring, and he can talk, and he's young. There's something going to happen there. But if Tony Khan wanted a sports-based wrestling presentation and great in-ring pro wrestling, it would be two guys like this or anyone like them, although there are not many. But not his children doing the tumbling. Again, there's no reason for me to campaign right now. I still, as I said, think Theory has a future. But I'm not saying these guys should be the fucking AEW world champions, but they are better than 80, 90% of Tony Khan's roster as far as what the job entails. Their work in the ring, their look. The Ciampa is not big, not overpoweringly large, but he's ripped and he's in shape. And he had facially and visually, he has an aura of somebody. His shit looks good enough you can buy that he would fuck you up, which I don't know why he's with the fucking nerd, but anyway. And Theory's the muscle-headed fucking young goddamn jack-off kid that you want to slap in the face. And his work, his basics, all the way up to his execution is usually fucking fantastic. And if you had these guys and guys like them with different, like any territory was, with different personalities and different ways of working and going about things. And one guy's more appealing as a heel and another as a babyface or whatever. But this is a sports-based presentation. You can buy these guys. They had a very good match with superb work. And a nice, exciting back and forth exchange, and then they had to do whatever business they're doing with their stories, where Theory rolled out to the floor and Gene Wilder, Waller grabbed him and threw him back in so he wouldn't get counted out or whatever, and then turned to the announcers and was yelling, "See, I always help him," or whatever. He's taking credit for Theory being a big deal. And Theory hears him and is like, "What?" And Ciampa double knockouts them into each other and rolls him up 1, 2, 3. So it's a great match with a cheap finish to get out of it. And they're telling some story now where there's going to be, hopefully Theory will kick the shit out of Waller. I don't know. But anyway, that's the thing is these guys, they're athletic. Ciampa's not young, but he's of the modern generation. Theory is young. And they're athletic and they visually look like something and they know how to work. And not only that, but they've been in a system that's, and Tommaso was in the Independents and in Ring of Honor, but he's a smart guy. And they know how to work for television and for the people. So this to me, they're almost as out of place though here as they would be in AEW for a sports-based presentation. Anyway, did you see the Bloodline meeting?
I believe so, yes.
Because I skipped over Apollo Crews and Andrade, because what the fuck?
I saw some of that. Apollo Crews always looks good and he never wins, so you're never gonna care.
Yeah, I care. So Solo is now giving instructions to the various Tamas in the back. Or to the various Tongas. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. If they're brothers, why is it one guy's last name and the other guy's first name? Is that a Samoan custom? Have they explained this? What the fuck's going on there?
Haku was originally King Tonga. Was Tonga his first name or his last name?
Okay, but that's still, it could be one or the other, but then it would have to be Loa Tonga and Tama Tonga, wouldn't it?
You would think.
Anyway, so they're in the back and Solo's telling them what to do. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. And Paul walks in. And now Paul is being the meek and trepidatious and nervous, and he's approaching these people with kid gloves and the utmost calm and suggesting that he can better serve Solo if he's allowed to give him more counsel. Because these people you're recruiting are violent men. And I see violence, but not strategy. I see violence for violence's sake. The strategy has to be when Roman comes back, we have Cody in check. And Solo said, we have him. And Paul's like, who's we? And then boom, music interrupts in the arena. It's Kevin Owens. And of course, that means they can't speak to each other anymore. But this is great by Paul. And this is obviously not only Paul doing the promo, but he's making them as much as he can and his credibility can and his ability to sell this thing. He's making them more dangerous in people's mind than they may actually even appear visually. But he's trying to create the element. When he says that we couldn't get these people into countries, they couldn't pass the background check. Roman has already thought about them. But even Roman Reigns wouldn't deal with people like that's creating a picture in people's minds. Paul's brilliant at that. And the only thing I keep thinking about before we go to the deal in the ring is, goddamn, they have to be building to the most dangerous one of all is Jacob Fatu. Because old Tama Loa and Tama Tonga's, goddamn it, whatever the fuck. And see, this may be a problem that the people have also. The casual viewer that they get a lot of. But Jacob Fatu looks more dangerous than all of them. That to me, they look too clean. They look like they go to the gym too often. Their gear looks too good. They don't have fucking tattoos in all the various fucking. Jacob, look, you could fucking buy him in a prison movie if you cast him in that role. So that's the only thing but Paul is brilliant at building it about these guys because that's what they need to do. And I'm not sure that visually their work is fine, but they're neither incredibly large nor incredibly vicious looking in standards of today's modern wrestling. Are your thoughts?
I think Tama Tonga's done a good job so far. Tongaloa really hasn't been established at all yet, other than just being a guy there. But I actually like the job that I'm more interested in Tama Tonga now than I ever was in him in New Japan. And let's see where they go with that. Also, if Roman's coming back and the chants for We Want Roman are getting louder and louder.
Yes.
That doesn't always keep happening. Eventually, he has to come back. This can't go on forever. The only question is he coming back with help to take down the usurpers? Or is he coming back and they're going to get more help against him? Obviously, there's someone leading it. They teased that already here. And it may be The Rock down the road. Because that was left open from earlier this year.
The Rock down the road. That's a fucking country album he can do. The Rock down the road.
Why I know exactly what show to watch to find out what Cowboy had to get for that song. But otherwise, Roman's going to come back. Maybe he has Jacob Fatu on his side. I don't know. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but how many heels can they load up on, especially if there is a leader that they're answering to that isn't Roman and that isn't Solo. Solo's answering to someone else. There's only a limited amount of options of who that could be. And the other thing is I thought in this segment did a good job of the big thing, bigger, I guess you could argue, than the Bloodline is Cody Rhodes is the world champion. It's all about getting him and getting that belt back for the Bloodline. So there was a lot of stuff here. This is a good segment.
Yeah, and then they continued it because as Owens is going to the ring and it's the 9 o'clock hour, imagine that, how these things happen. As soon as he starts really talking and establishes that Randy Orton is home recuperating, then Paul E comes out and interrupts and talks his way to the ring again, and it's just brilliant. I don't even want to try to tell the story that he told. Again, being flustered and cautious, but he buttered up Owens and how Roman respected him, at the end and above all, whatever the fuck, down deep. And he begs Owens, please stay away from the Bloodline. Solo doesn't respect you. He's recruiting criminals. These are the people you're antagonizing. They're thugs. They want to take you out. If you keep on, they're going to do something bad to you. I'm thinking, this is fantastic. He is goddamn. Again, did Zero Mostel ever win an Academy Award?
I don't know.
Do we need to find out, because again, Paul E could possibly at least an Emmy. But anyway, he begs Owens to back off, please. And then, of course, Owens shits all over him. Why would I trust you? This is all you, the pulling the strings. In a bibbidi-ba. With his accent. He's got to like the Kevin Owens when he talking like this. But he's not going to fall for it. Right? And he basically worked himself up into a nervous breakdown, telling Paul he didn't need his help. And then Paul works himself up. Maybe I'm trying to save you. But no, let's not listen to the Hall of Fame wise man. Let's not listen to anything he has to say. And as he works himself up, he accidentally hits Owens with a backhand as he's having his tantrum in the air. He looked like Trump jerking off two people at the same time, whatever, right? And immediately he registered, I've hit him, and Owens says, you've hit me. And the crowd sees it because they did it perfectly. Again, Paul, he could have been a silent movie star. And the audio goes blank because the people start chanting, you fucked up, you fucked up. And Fox don't go for that. No can do. So it's fucking muted for like 30 seconds. And then finally, Owens goes, he's going to grab Paul, but there's the music plays, and here comes the Bloodline. Well, now, meanwhile, I was thinking, they may still go somewhere with Paul has pretty much called these guys sewer rats, right? With how he was describing them, they might take issue with that, wouldn't you think?
Well, it doesn't seem like they like him at all. It seems like they'd be more than happy to attack Heyman. Solo's been holding him back, and Solo's been talking down to him to keep Heyman in place. He knows he needs Heyman, but he doesn't want Heyman running the show.
Well, anyway, before we find out what might happen, because the bloodline, it was coming out, but then suddenly from behind, because I guess they were waiting in the fourth row just in case, the Street Profits hit the ring. And then so they all had a sloppy six-way where Owens and Solo fought off. I mean, I'm just two guys just fight completely away with each other, just away from everything else that's going on, and you never see them again. Nobody ever comes back out. Brian, think about that. You and two of your friends are in a fight with three guys, right? And even if you and some fucking guy fall down a hill, roll through a parking lot into a goddamn creek and are momentarily submerged, possibly in water, perhaps in even human waste, and you knock him the fuck out, are you going to just hitchhike home from there? Or are you going to go back and find out if your two friends kicked the other two guys' ass?
Well, yeah.
Well, they don't. They never do here. So the two tag teams, wink, wink, stayed in the ring, and that was our next match. So I'm like, well, fuck. This was a great fucking segment, and we got another fucking tag team match I don't care about. And the Tongas won. Or Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. Or Tom DeLoa. And wait till R-Truth gets finished with him.
In the movie Body Slam, Sam Fatu was Tonga Tom.
Boy, that took a lot of fucking creative. Who wrote that script?
I don't know, but you could tell when you see that movie, it's an interesting thing because it comes out, I think it came out in 87, but they made it in 86. And it's clearly influenced on everything that's happened in wrestling without any logic or reason. There's a team based on the Road Warriors. There's the Rocket Wrestling Connection. Captain Lou Albano is Captain Lou Morano.
That may have been an honest mistake. Now, come on.
There's a wrestling talk show hosted by Charles Nelson Riley based on TNT. So it's everything that happened in wrestling in 84 and 85 put together in some script. Why are we talking about that here?
I don't know, but I never thought about this. Imagine every suit that you've ever seen Vince McMahon wear. Imagine it on Charles Nelson Riley. And now vice versa. Imagine everything you've ever... It works. It works.
It works.
Anyway, what did work kind of, sort of, till the end there, we kind of knew it was coming, but it was nicely done, was AJ Styles has asked for time to address the people, because all show long he's been very somber. People have been saying Cody shook his hand and whispered something to him. And LA Knight said, hey, if what I hear is true, respect. And then he's hugged Gallows and Anderson, AJ has, and they haven't been together in a while. He said, you guys were here with me at the start. I want you to go out with me. So we're thinking he's going to give it up. This is kind of the way their momentous announcement. And he got in the ring and basically, he did the promo where Aldis said, if I want another shot at Cody, I'd have to go to the back of the line, and I can't do that at this point in my life. I've been doing. Why do people, instead of saying I've been doing this 20 years, I've been doing this for over 2 decades? Do people use the word decades in normal speech?
Some people do. Wrestlers don't.
It doesn't sound normal. But anyway. So he had friends over for his son's graduation, and then he was like, how many have I missed? Maybe I should stay at home and be a father. And so he tells Gallows and Anderson that he loves them, and they do a heartwarming too sweet and a big hug in the middle of the ring. And I wanted them to play The Road is Long as they walked off into the sunset, but see, they're too careful with their money to be frivolous like that. But anyway, and then AJ says, well, before I go, I had asked Cody to come out here earlier. That's what we said to each other, if I called for him or whatever, if he'd come out here. And Cody comes out and he's over. And AJ tells him it was one of my greatest matches, and this is the house that AJ Styles built, and I called you out here to hand you the keys. And Cody puts him over for everything he's done, and they hug. It's a heartwarming example of sportsmanship. And Cody raises AJ's arm to one side of the ring and the other side, and finally that last side, and then, oh boy, boom, AJ levels a boom on Cody Rhodes and just kicks the shit out of him. When did you know for sure, at what point were you pretty sure at least that Cody was going to kick the shit, or AJ was going to kick the shit out of Cody?
The suit. When I saw him earlier in the night in the suit and they started teasing it, that's when I started thinking it, because I remember the last time they did this, because it was effective. Mark Henry announced in his pink suit that he was going to retire, and he turned on Cena, and it worked. It was one of the best things he ever did there. They got the crowd totally into it. It was great.
So if he'd have come out in fucking blue jeans and a goddamn sweatshirt like he'd been changing his oil, you would have known he was going to retire for real.
No, I would think he's just doing a promo or something, but the blue suit, the light blue suit. Again, Mark Henry wore a pink suit. This was it was salmon. This was like powder blue. You know, I knew it wouldn't make any other sense otherwise.
Yeah.
The show's going to end with him just announcing his retirement, hugging Cody, and leaving.
Thank you very much.
And they set up everything perfectly with having the Good Brothers there to back him up. That was set up perfectly.
And then, I guess they were very confident about this, but AJ Styles gave Cody the Styles Clash. Well, he cleared off the top level of the stairs, so the standing on the base of the stairs, which is is that 18 inches? I don't know. But still, he gave him the Styles Clash off that platform of the stairs onto the pads on the floor, and they landed flat. But boy, geez, I don't know if I'd want to be upside down and going through that or not. So Cody must have confidence in him, because he's the most important guy in the fucking company. But it was so we're obviously we're going to see or hear more of Cody and AJ.
I guess the question is, how much longer does it go? And I'm interested in the match. The last match was good, and now they have a little bit of something going. They did a big angle after Cody beat him already. But Gunther won a title match. If this goes a couple months, there goes Gunther's title match.
Well, no. Both these things can be true, because they don't have to just run it like at Memphis in the old days where it was a weekly program. And, you couldn't. Do you hear the heavy rain now that is coming down upon my roof?
You're hearing things. No one hears this.
No.
Jim, no one hears this. No one.
I'm looking out the window, though. I can see it. It's fucking pouring fucking rain.
You're losing your mind.
That's why I turned around, and the Monroes are out there. And the Monroes are clearing the property in this deluge.
Hey, you didn't bring up what I thought and what a lot of other people thought was the highlight of SmackDown. Did you not see the LA Knight Carmelo Hayes interview?
Oh, I forgot about that. You got me sidetracked. I skipped ahead. Yes, I did. And also, what's her name? Kayla
Braxton.
Ought to call her Clueless. He was trying to work with her a little bit, and she just stand there dumbfounded, like you could almost see behind her eyes. This wasn't in the script. He's just talking to me. But yeah, I don't yet know what anybody sees in young Carmelo that he should be interacting at this point in time with the main event guys in the company, and especially unless the idea is he's to get heat by being disrespectful when he's absolutely not ready for the spot. I mean, what?
Well, again, he was a babyface. It looks like now they're starting to make him heel.
Well, he's been an asshole to me since he showed up about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
For those who didn't hear the face-to-face backstage with Kayla Braxton, here's some brief audio to capture the moment.
Look, man, why would LA want to face you? when a first-round draft pick is standing right here?
Well, if I face myself, I'd be looking in the mirror. You're talking about Logan, right? Yeah, let's get it right. Get your names right.
Look, truth is, he knows ball.
And there it is. He forgot who he was talking to, who he was staring at. And LA Knight didn't let it go, and you couldn't, because everyone heard him say, did he just call himself to him? You know, everyone heard it happen. So LA Knight's good on the fly.
Well, that's when he started out asking old clueless Kayla a question. Legitimately, all she had to say was yes or no. It was some one-word thing to just act like that she was comprehending the words that were coming out of his mouth. But you could tell also he was doing his thing, and she didn't really know that was coming, but she wasn't listening. She was apparently waiting either for her the cue for her next line or just to get the fuck out of the picture. And finally he said, okay, you're gonna answer? Okay, don't answer. And then she tried to say something and he went on with it anyway. It was like she was just staring blankly at him. Does anybody know how to fucking just do live TV there anymore? Oh, God damn it.
Yeah, but not a good look for Carmelo. He looked, getting lost on TV like that on live TV is not good.
And see, thing is, with the first airing, I didn't understand what Hayes said well enough to understand that he was fucking up. And then I just thought LA Knight was belittling him. And then he played that back earlier. And it's so he had that memorized in his head, whatever he was given on a piece of paper, to the point where the only thing he dangled his participle, or he mixed up his tenses or whatever, and he was talking to the wrong person, but he was trying to recite the words. That's what a lot of the problem is with wrestling these days, is that it ain't wrestling enough. It's bad community theater.
It's, it's like, who can you see talking the way they do at 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Like, I could see LA Knight just living in gimmick. Carmelo Hayes is speaking, you get on the video, for those who haven't seen it, you can really tell. Like you said, he's memorized what he's going to say. He kind of has the reactions down. And then LA Knight throws him off by pointing out that he's thrown off. And LA Knight is as smooth as can be, as calm as can be, because he knows who he's talking to. But if you have everything memorized, it's going to throw you off. And that's the way it came across.
Oh, God, that's like if you saw the Dream Machine, my wonderful friend Troy Graham, in the goddamn corner convenience store, he, without his mask on in street clothes, you would instantly know it was the masked Dream Machine, because he was acting and talking the same fucking way.
If I ran into Dusty Rhodes at the gas station, there's a chance he may call me baby.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, yes. Or he may cuss you out. It just depends on what kind of mood he was in. I swear to God, when it was in Philadelphia at the Civic Center one night in '86, when Dusty and Magnum had just got the fucking fur coats, and they were wearing the fur, but bear in mind, this was warm weather. But I'm standing back waiting for Dennis Corluzzo to pull up, because he's going to take us out of there back to our hotel. And then Bobby and Dennis are coming down after they got their shit done and got dressed and everything. And there come Dusty and Magnum on the other side of the giant garage door entranceway. But anyway, the point is, I'm hiding over the corners so any stray fans don't see me to begin with, but now next to Dusty and Magnum, and some random Civic Center worker a kid in a t-shirt comes up to Dusty and says, "Can I have your autograph?" And Dusty said, "Yeah." And he said, the kid asked Dusty, he said, "Do you have a pen?" And that was too much. Dusty said, "Yeah, I got it sticking out of my ass." Like, he'd give the kid an autograph, but he's not going to provide a fucking pen. He's standing there in a $25,000 fucking chinchilla coat. But anyway, times were simpler back then, Brian. But now you got to swerve people. You got to scramble people. You got to get away from people. People can't know what you're up to and where you're at. They can locate you all kinds of different ways. We were talking about whether or not the bloodline's going to swerve us, and with Heyman or whatever, or swerve Strickland. or even old shit stained swerve, swerve, bro. But the real way to swerve people in today's modern space age society, ladies and gentlemen, they soon will put a man on the moon. You got to scramble your signal. You can't let these big technological companies, they've got the computers, they've got the, you've seen the film of those big banks of computers with the wheels spinning and the gears running, just those IBM machines. These big tech companies have walls and walls of those things, don't they, Brian? Just walls and walls of them.
Well, you said you've seen films, yeah, like from the 50s and 60s, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they got, all kinds of these things. And what they're doing is they're spying on you. You may think you can fix your privacy setting or turn off your app tracking. Those are just things they tell you, ladies. Games that the games people play, you take them or you leave. I'm telling you, you need to leave them instead of taking them, because they're feeding on your information, literally sucking your blood, the blood of your internet history, out of you, and they are draining you of it, and they are selling it to the highest bidder who can suckle on some more of it. And one way or another, they're going to suck on you until you're dry. So you need to convince them that you're somewhere else. When they come to find you to suck more of you, you're not home. Scramble your signal with ExpressVPN, because when you put the ExpressVPN app on your computer or your phone, then they're telling these people that you've got an IP address somewhere on a mountaintop in Tibet. So they can do whatever they want with the fucking monks up there. We don't care. We don't know any of them personally. And they don't listen to us because they've taken a vow of silence. Wait a minute. Does that mean they can't talk or they can't listen?
Hey, speaking of mountaintops, Darby Allin was supposed to climb Mount Everest. Didn't like 2 people from the latest voyage to the top of Mount Everest just die?
Well, maybe they're the ones that took his place. See, if not for being hit by a bus and breaking his foot and being run over by a fucking bread truck, he'd be up there on Mount Everest now.
Maybe he'll bring the flamethrower. Wouldn't that help him?
Well, that may be you may have to figure that's the hard way to defrost somebody, isn't it? Wouldn't that go straight from frostbite into fucking 3rd-degree burns? Remember the midget that used
Frankie
to work for Dennis Corleone? Frankie Third-Degree Burns. That was the greatest name in the history of wrestling. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, ExpressVPN, who we're still talking about somehow, encrypts and reroutes 100% of your online activity so that hackers and Wi-Fi people and internet providers can't see it. They don't know what's going on. Potentially wives, divorce attorneys, depends on what your preferences are. And you just take one click and protect everything. One ExpressVPN subscription covers up to 5 devices at the same time. You like the toaster, the refrigerator, the stove, the microwave.
Suspect device.
I'm sorry?
No, I was just thinking of a good song.
Oh. Well, nevertheless, you can protect your entire family by doing this. From hiding your activities from them is probably the best way to protect them. So go right now to ExpressVPN, ExpressVPN.com. They wrote out .dot. They wrote it out. .com/JCE. And you're going to get an extra 3 months free on top of what you already get when you sign up for this valuable life-saving service. Because they can literally, let's say, for example, that you commit international espionage and the government is able to.
Let's not say that.
Well, no, let's just hypothetically. We're not encouraging people to, but there are people that are going to engage in that type of activity. We can't legislate morality.
We're not encouraging, but there are people who will do it nonetheless.
That's exactly what I just said. So if you're going to do the international espionage, you're going to have some trace on your computer, and the government is going to find that, and if they're going to weasel down your computer hole and in through your wiring until they go up through the poop chute, and the SWAT team's going to be beating your door down, launching the fucking flash, bang, boom, fing, fang, foom, and you're going to be obliterated. Or you can get expressvpn.com/JCE and get an extra 3 months for free that the government won't batter down your front door and with flamethrowers. And it's going to be cheaper than the cost of repairs of your home after the government batters it down with flamethrowers. Just don't let them know where you are.
Once again, if you want to see great programs that you're blocked from seeing here in the States, various programs like the Great British Sewing Bee, and others, ExpressVPN is the choice for you and yours. One more time, Jim, if you have indeed done it before, but at least let's start with, what's the promo code, Jim?
Well, just from start, and by the way, that if you want to be frivolous, yes, watch the sewing, expressvpn.com/JCE to learn more. You can get an extra 3 months for free. You can, protect yourself, and it's like encasing your entire family in a giant condom. The protection that you need to provide as the caregiver and the breadwinner and the deer slayer and the dog catcher of the family.
All right. ExpressVPN, ladies and gentlemen, to once again access stuff that your region is locked out of seeing on the internet.
Yeah. And you can pass international files. You just mark them confidential. And then you can go from there.